Hello, how are you? You have something special. You have greatness in you. I got a message for you today about dealing with fear, how to handle stuff that frightens you. And I want you to like this page and share it, like it and share it. I'm coming on twice today. I decided to come on early because I feel so good. I am so relieved about a lot of stuff. But I want you to like this page and share it. Anybody that's listening now, if you ever had a fear of dentists, I want you to like this page and share it. I had to go to the dentist, and Dr. Johnson, boy, he's really a really nice guy. I'm here in Atlanta. And he was so gentle with me. He could sense there was a level of uneasiness that I expressed. I guess in my conversation and my voice and how I looked at him and how I clenched when he came near me. But I want you to like this page and share it, like it and share it. Have you ever seen something in a movie that affected you for a very long time? I'm a very impressionable person, okay? I'm like a big kid. So I want you to like this page and share it. And I have a friend, I haven't talked to her in a long time, named Patricia Wingard. And I was expressing some fears that I was facing at that time. And she said something to me. I want you to write this down. Until you handle it with grace, it will stay in your face. So I've been challenging myself to go to the dentist because I was having some discomfort. I was eating some nuts and I felt a chip. I broke a chip off of one of my back teeth. And I just said, I can live with this. I don't need to go to the dentist. But it began to get rather aggravating. And where it really started years ago, and I just was shocked when I went to the dentist that this scene came up in my mind. I saw a movie years ago. It was called Marathon Man. Most of you won't know this. Millenniums don't know anything about this movie. It was starring Dustin Hoffman and a great actor, Laurence Olivier. Both of them are great actors. And it was called Marathon Man. And Dustin Hoffman was a torturer. His goal was to extract a confession, information from Dustin Hoffman. Laurence Olivier was a torturer, and he wanted to get Dustin Hoffman to tell him where some diamonds were. And was it safe for him to go get the diamonds? And so they were chasing him, and they finally caught him, and they brought him to this place, and they put him in a dentist chair, and they strapped him in. And Laurence Olivier asked, is it safe? Dustin Hoffman said, yes, it's safe, it's safe. And then Laurence Olivier took a drill out. He said, is it safe? And Dustin Hoffman said, yes, it's safe, it's safe. And then he went in his mouth with that drill. Let me tell you something. I had a big container of popcorn. I threw that popcorn up in the air, and I climbed over the people next to me and ran out of that theater. I said, oh my God, that's horrible. That movie was so bad, that scene, that the National Dental Association had a campaign against that because they said that it will affect their profession. They did not lie. I did not go to dentist for 5 years. Now, I'm on radio at WVKO in Columbus, Ohio. So I call this dental office, Dr. Patterson. Hi, I'd like to make an appointment, please. See the dentist. I did not use my whole name. I just said Calvin Brown. And they said, the first time I called about 4 or 5 times, and when they would answer the phone, Dr. Patterson, I would hang up. That's how I did it. Hang up. Then I got to the point where I would make an appointment, and I would not keep the appointment. So this, the sixth time, the lady said, "Sir?" I said, "Yes." "You sound like Les Brown." I said, "My name is Calvin, Calvin Brown." "But you sound like Les Brown. I listened to you on the radio on WVKO in the morning. I know your voice, sir." I said, "This is harassment. What if I am Les Brown?" "You're afraid, aren't you? You've been making appointments and you haven't kept your appointments. Are you afraid?" "No, I'm not." And I hung up. Then I called back and said, "Yes, I am." So she said, "What are you afraid of?" I said, "Do they use a drill? Do y'all use a drill there? I don't want to be able to hear any drills while y'all got clients in the room there." And so they said, "Yeah, we do use drills if a client needs that. Can you put me someplace where I can't hear the drills?" So she said, "Okay." So I drove to Dr. Patterson's office. I sat in the parking lot and I called her upstairs. I said, "Hi, this is Les Brown." She said, "We've been waiting on you." I said, "Can y'all give me something to relax me?" I said, "I'm very tense now." And so she said, "Yes, let's come on in." I said, "No, you got to come down to the parking lot. I'm just too nervous to get out the car." Oh my God. That movie jacked me up. Do you hear me? I made two mistakes. One, I made the mistake of seeing that movie, Marathon Man by Laurence Olivier and Dustin Hoffman. And two, there's another movie, there's a dental scene in there called Little Shop of Horrors. There's a dental scene in there too. And I was horrified watching those two. And so here's the point I'm making with this, because everybody has a story. And I'm walking you through a process of how I tell stories. And it's something that we're doing now, helping people to be able to tell stories. So part of the process that I'm doing right now, never tell a story that you can't make a point with. And so here's the point where I'm going with this story, is that you have to confront your fears. That if you don't, they will rob you of a lot of things in life. And so my life was being governed by fear. I was in a lot of pain and I needed a dentist, but I allowed the fear to hold me back in getting the treatment that I needed. The other thing is that what Patricia Wingard said was real. Until you face it with grace, it will stay in your face. And so there I was, and I was embarrassed that I was afraid to go to the dentist. I'm a grown man, little children going to the dentist, and I'm sitting down in the parking lot. And the last time I had gone to the dentist, I was living in Miami, and I had my mother to go with me, grown man, crying, "Mama, you have got to go with me." All right? So that's how bad it was. This fear of dentists. I just got sick of just being tired of that fear that I had. And so they came down and they gave me something to relax me. And so I came up the steps, and sure enough, I could hear a drill. Woo, boy, wow. I mean, I didn't even stop to the elevator. I ran down the steps. Lady, she came after me. She said, "Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, calm down." I say, "Whatever you gave me is not working." I heard a drill. She said, "We got to do business here. Calm down. We might not have to use a drill with you. Just calm down and come back upstairs." I said, "Well, can you give me something to put in my ears so I don't hear the drill? The drill. That's what my issue is." So I said, "Yes." So mind you, here I am in Atlanta, and I go to Dr. Johnson here, and he said, "You look familiar." My father, he told me about you. My father, he talked about you. He's since passed. You Les Brown? I said, yes, sir. So his assistant, his name is Alex. His young brother comes in. Mr. Brown, I said, yes. Are you afraid? And when he said that, I thought about the movie. Here's the point. Number one, I shouldn't have watched that movie. Monitor what you take in. I don't go see horror movies anymore. I look at things to find out how will this make me feel at the end of this conversation. There was something, and right now, this telephone, they got some horrible things on here. There's some good things on here, but the bad things, they stand out and they stick in your mind longer. They capture your attention. And I saw where one lady, she got caught with her boyfriend, and the husband had her cut the boyfriend's head off. Now, I don't know the lady, nor her husband, or the boyfriend who was decapitated. Why would I want to read that? But at first I was captured by, that had to be bad. Well, yes. I mean, yes, it's bad. It's horrible. Negative stuff stays in your mind longer. I don't know how long ago I saw Marathon Man, that movie, but it's more prominent in my mind than other things that I have seen that are good movies that had a positive impact. Negative information and things that you see affect you for a longer period of time and have a greater impact on you. And so during this time, you know what it's about? It's about finding things that can help you to feel good. So guess why I'm talking to you now? Because I feel good when I talk to you right now. And I've got to go back again, and I'm giving myself courage. Hello. Yes, I'm not as afraid as I used to be. But when this young brother came by me and tears were coming out my eye, and he dabbling, and he said, "Are you afraid? Are you crying now?" I wanted to say, "Yes, I am." But I said, "No, I'm not crying." "Yes, you are. You cry. You don't grow man cry." And he made me feel at ease because I'm here thinking and playing that scene back from that movie. And that movie is gone. And most people, not even alive, who saw it other than me and five other people. But I don't go see horror movies after that or anything that's going to make me feel bad. I like to see things that make me feel good, that make me laugh, that inspire me, that motivate me, that encourage me. It's not good for my health. I'm kicking fourth stage cancer every day. And part of the process is I monitor what I let in my mind. And I'm encouraging you during this particular time, as you move forward in your life, be selective of what you watch. Be selective of what you listen to, including conversations. You remember that play, I don't want to let nobody bring me no bad news. Don't bring me no bad news. And don't bring me any bad news in the middle of the night or late at night. I can't do anything about it anyhow. So I turn my phone off. What can I do? I'm in bed, I'm asleep. You just woke me up. If people call you after 12 midnight, it's bad news. So you can wait till the next day. But don't make yourself available for bad news. No. And then here's the other thing is, give me the Reader's Digest version. I don't need all the details. Let's get to the bottom line. Just give me the condensed version of what you want to tell me, because I don't need you to paint a picture in my mind. I'm an empath. I feel things. I experience things. And so when you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at where you want to go, particularly now. I got caught up watching stuff about the coronavirus. And I said, wait a minute. I don't know. Is it safe for me to come out? I'm here talking to a squirrel named Tyrone. I'm looking at my grandkids who come at the base of the steps and, hi, Papa, can we come up? No, you can't come up to see Papa now. But Papa loves you. Here's a virtual hug. This is a hug. I love you very much. I would love to see you, but Papa can't see you right now, okay? We want to tickle your stomach. I know, and I want to tickle you too. But you can't see Papa now. Gotta do a drive-by. And so this is a time to be concerned, but not consumed. I'm keeping social distancing from my grandchildren, from my children, and the refrigerator. It hasn't been real good, but I've been working on it. You feel it, brother, up in here, up in here. And so, but as I confronted my fear and went to the dentist, and Dr. Johnson, such a nice guy, and his assistant, Alex, I felt more comfortable. He hurt me a little bit, not real bad, and I told him about the fear of the drill. He said, well, we don't use those type of drills. That's probably a very loud one. I said, yeah. He said, we got to do some cleaning with you, but you'll be able to handle this. And I was able to handle it. And it to me, it's affirmation that we are stronger than things that we give power to, that most of us give our power away. I gave my power away to the sound of a drill, a drill that they perhaps don't even use now in dentistry. But that fear has been with me for a long time and limited my visits to the dentist. When you don't have clean teeth, not only is your breath kicking like Bruce Lee, it can cause heart disease. The consequences are serious. Inflammation of the gums, that's serious. Gum disease, that's serious. And so if you allow yourself, as I have been, governing myself by fear, as I don't look forward to going to the dentist, that's conscious negligence. And that it doesn't make sense. Until you face it with grace, it will stay in your face. Job said, that which I feared most came upon me. And so when I start having very, very tough discomfort on the left side of my jaw, I had to go in and I had to calm myself and I had to deal with it. And started crying in the chair. And Alex said, a grown man crying. I said, yes, I am. I had no shame. I just gave it all up like Vance Jones. He was crying the other night during the election returns. I just got ugly. You know, an ugly cry, you know. You know, people start shouting and crying and get ugly for the Lord. I got an ugly cry out. Oh, my God. And so, face your fears. Most things that we fear are not as painful as we think that they are going to be. Zig Ziglar calls fear false evidence appearing real, that we magnify in our minds and give over to the story of fear in our mind to prevent us from doing things. 86% of people allow the fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed, or the fear of success. I was speaking locally in Miami, and then a guy saw me and he said, you know what? We have a national convention. Man, I'd like to invite you to come speak to our national convention. I'd never spoken at a national convention. I only spoke locally in Miami. He said, would you come? I said, yes. And then as it got closer, he sent me information. And on that brochure, they talked about the guy who was going to also be there. And he was a psychologist. Whoa. I don't have a college education. And I've always, for the most part at that time, I was intimidated by people who had a college education that would show me up. And I didn't have one. And so he kept calling me and to let me know what time to be there. And I didn't respond to him. And then he did something. He dropped the ticket off and said, I'll see you in Houston. I said, oh my God. So I was too embarrassed not to go. So I'm reading everything that I can to get my speech together. I said, I'm going to be strong. This guy, he's going to be bad, but I'm going to hold my own. I don't care anything about his psychology degree. And then I got there and I'm all amped up, pacing back and forth in the dressing room, looking at myself. Les, you are strong, man. This is your first speech outside of Miami. You can do this. You got this. I'm talking to myself, getting myself all pumped up in the mirror. And then when they called me out of the dressing room to be seated on stage, a guy leans over to me and said, we need you to speak earlier. I said, why? Oh, the psychologist that we booked, he couldn't make it. I said, you gotta be. I was traumatized for at least 6 weeks. I took myself through all kind of changes for something that it wasn't in the fallings of the stars. It wasn't supposed to happen. All things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And I think the Lord said, you know what? He is so scared. He's going to be so intimidated by this other guy on the program who's a psychologist, and he does not have that. I'm going to do some intervention here and make it possible that he could speak and not have any fear about who's going to go before him or who's coming after him. Listen to me. You're stronger than anything that life throws at you, including fear. Make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I decided after that it didn't matter what the other speakers did who were better than me. What matters was that I would do the best that I could. I would prepare myself and I'll get better. I would learn from them. I would study them. I heard a gentleman speak. He used to be a pastor, and Dr. King said he was the greatest minister in the world, greatest preacher. Dr. Otis Moss Sr. You never heard him speak? He was bad. He was at Olivet Institutional Baptist Church in Cincinnati and in Cleveland, Ohio. He's since retired. I heard him speak. I didn't speak for 6 months. Let me tell you, he took my voice away. I said, I see why Dr. King said he's the greatest preacher in the world. Oh my God. I could speak for 6 months. I said, yeah. People call me, invite me to speak locally. I wouldn't go in Columbus, Ohio. No. But I started driving back and forth from Columbus to Cincinnati. And I'd sit in the back and I would watch it and study him and take notes. And then I developed a friendship with the people in his office. And I asked him, can I see his library? What does he read? Because he was well read. He quoted Henry David Thoreau, Winston Churchill. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it. Ignorance may deride it. But at the end, there it is. Oh, Dr. Moss. He talked about the gap, the moment that you're born and the day that you die. But the most important part, he talked about that dash. Let me tell you something. And he would build that dash out. Do you hear me? You talk about a bad brother up in here, and he's got a son, Otis Moss Jr. the third. He's a bad brother out of Chicago as well. He holds his own. He brought his own shoes to the party. And I couldn't speak for 6 months. But I studied him. I listened to him. I got all of his recordings of as many sermons by him as possible. And then he came to Columbus to speak at Union Grove Baptist Church, invited by Reverend Fail Hill. He and I served in the Ohio legislature together. And when he came in, he had to speak on one day, I had to speak on the other. And I watched him this time with some different eyes. I'd been studying and preparing. I'd watched him. I'd studied him. I started reading the things that he read and spend time with myself in prayer and meditation and working on myself. This is what I do. It's not about my comparing myself to him. It's about being the best me that I can be when I stand up at that microphone. That's what it's about. My studying, I got a mentor, Mike Williams, to work with me, to bring my voice out, to teach me how to create special moments with my storytelling skills. Because all of us are born with stories of greatness in us. And this is what brought about this conversation today. And most of us take our stories of greatness to the grave. Why? Because we allow ourselves to be imprisoned by fear. And the key to unlocking that prison that we have put ourselves in, that self-imposed prison, is faith in ourselves, in our abilities, in a power greater than ourselves. And so that I had to work on first, me, the messenger. The storyteller had to work on me, and then on telling the story, on creating the special moments, on creating humor, on using quotes at the appropriate time, on seeing something and synthesizing it and making a point and making an impact and transforming people through the experience that I'm able to create. I had no idea. All those years of studying Dr. Otis Moss Jr., no, Dr. Otis Moss Sr., and listening to things by Dr. Howard Thurman, who wrote The Centering Moment. Deep is the hunger. He said there are two primary questions that one must ask oneself in life. Number one, where am I going? Number two, who's going with me? And he said, and if you ever ask those questions in the wrong order, you'll be in serious trouble. Listen, Dr. Howard Thurman, who's the mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi. Oh, that was a bad brother up in here, up in here. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at your dreams, it's a new arena. It's a new place where we are. We've gone from brick and mortar, where people, thousands of people, millions of people go in offices to work, to click and order. That's where we are now. Working at home, from the computer, in the safety of your home. A computer that does not sneeze, that's not asymptomatic, a computer that does not cough, that you don't have to wear a mask when you're at your computer. It's safe. If you're in the room by yourself, you feel me up in here, up in here. Quincy Jones, come forth, sir. He said, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. My granddaughters, they work from home. My sister, she works from home. They told me when I was at Emory Hospital, we would have telemedicine. A doctor called me and he was on the monitor giving me instructions and things that I should do on the computer. Go to the computer, Mr. Brown. He'll be right there. And I'm saying to myself, boy, how the world has changed. I'm 75. I remember when records were this large, they called them 78s. And then they got smaller, they called them 45s. Then they had 8-tracks, then they had cassettes. And now they have CDs. I mean, I'm old as Methuselah. I mean, I've seen a lot. And Life is about growth. Life is about expanding. Life is about being flexible and versatile and adaptable. And don't let the fear of failure or the fear of success stop you. You're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. That's how I learned from young people. I learned from my children, my grandchildren. I learned from you. You have something special. You have stories of greatness in you. Free them up by getting coaching on how to tell your story, releasing the knowledge that you have, the experiences that you have, the struggles that you've gone through that will become a survival guide for someone else that's facing what you had to deal with and how you came out of it and you were triumphant. It's a new time. And there are great opportunities right now for people who are willing to learn how to tell their stories, to increase their sales, to increase their ability to recruit people for their mission, for their goal, for getting engaged in their job and motivating and inspiring people to bring out the best in themselves and the best of each other. This is a special time. A special time. This is your time. You were born for this time. If you weren't, you'll be taking a dirt nap. Enjoy this time. Enjoy it. You are God's favorite child. You have something special. You have greatness in you. Stories of greatness, and Dr. Miles Monroe had a point when he said, with power, feeling, and conviction, rob the cemetery of your greatness, of your dreams, of your talents. Rob the cemetery of your ideas, of your innovation, of your leadership. Don't take it to your grave with you. No. You have in you stories of greatness. Had I not had someone to speak to me and said, Les, you can do this. You can handle this. You can do this. But I don't have a college education. Don't worry about what you don't have. Focus on what you do have and build from there. I can't compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. Listen. You got a story. What? I don't have any story. How'd you get in radio? I went to apply for a job, encouraged by Mr. Washington, WMDM on Miami Beach. And what happened? I met with Milton Butterball Smith and told him I was interested in radio. And he asked me if I had an experience. And what happened then? I told him no. And he said, no, we don't have any job for you. So what happened then? Oh, I went back and I told Mr. Washington. He said no, and he told me to go back again. That most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. And he said, what happened? I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a discharge. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. Why are you back today? Oh, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired. So then Mike said, okay, and what happened after that, Brownie? I left and I decided I was going back again because I remember Mr. Washington said, if you want something, you got to be hungry. You got to know your vitamin. You've got to build your career around hunger. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are not easily discouraged. They will persist, as Og Mandino would say, until they proceed. I went back a 3rd time. Hello, how are you, Mr. Butterball? How you doing? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Why are you back today? Sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick Someone died, sir. Listen, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now don't you come back here again. I came back the next day, Mike. What happened, Brownie? I came back, man. I was looking happy, like I was seeing him for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? And he looked at me. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. I said, that was the beginning. He said, Brownie. I said, what? You said you don't have a story? I said, yes. That's your story, man. Who want to hear a story about how someone got rejected 3 times and ended up being a flunky, a gopher for the disc jockey? Brownie, remember, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That's why I'm here. Brownie, you got a story. We can build that out. You can create value with that. 86% of people would stop with the first rejection. You kept showing up. I say to you, know why I'm sharing this with you? Show up for yourself. Show up for your dream. A lot of noise out here. A lot of distractions. Judge not according to appearances. This is your time. Get up in the morning knowing all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. This is your time. Be convicted in your spirit down at the cellular level. This is your time. In spite of all this stuff, you want to be concerned but not consumed with fear, because you can't think when your mind is consumed with fear. This is your time. You had everything stripped away from you. You lost your home, facing eviction, foreclosure. Your business went under. Hey. There's something in you. There's a power in you. This is your time to rebuild. This is your time to rethink your life. This is your time to come back because you got it like that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Get around the right people who think like that. People who don't have a defeatist attitude. People who have decided, as Lisa Nichols would say, I'm going to make it no matter what. Get around the right people, the no matter what people. Stay away from people that all they're doing waiting on a relief check that's already spent. No, you are more than that. Find a way to rebuild again. Find a way to pick up the pieces and start all over again. When one door closes, another door opens, but most people spend time being depressed, feeling anxious, feeling defeated about the closed door. They don't see the open door. Let your prayer be, God, give this to me if it's for my highest good. If not, give me its equivalent or something better. Father, give this to me if it's for my highest good. If not, give me its equivalent or something better. This is my time. Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. If you have a story, if you like to be trained by someone who been doing it for 51 years, I can't believe it. I served at the Lord's Supper. I'm 75. If you'd like to learn how to tell your story and create special moments, make people laugh, make them feel good, inspire them, increase your sales, attract people to your multi-level marketing business, teach people how to focus their mind even though they are geographically apart. If you have a goal and a dream of becoming successful in business today, attention is the new currency. You've got to be able to communicate. Warren Buffett said, and I listen to billionaires, he said, not being able to communicate is like winking at a woman that you love in the dark. Oh, behave. Nothing happens. You have got to be heard. You can be the most knowledgeable person in the world, but that knowledge has to be transmitted. It has to be transformed, transported through the power of a story. And effective communication skills, your voice, your personality, your voice modulation, your facial expressions, your body. You don't want to leave it a chance. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. If you like for me to coach you how to tell your story, how to conquer your fear. Remember now, they said the number one fear people have is speaking before an audience. That's gone. I'm going to teach you how to speak before a computer and make money virtually from the safety and comfort of your home. That sounds good to me, brother. Now, what did you say I should do? Put voice in the comment section. Could you say that? Spell that for me. VOICE. Were you in special education with me? How did you know? Oh, behave. Hello. Put voice in the comment section. You have something special. You have greatness in you. Bye for now. I salute the greatness in you. Put voice in the comment section. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I enjoy myself so much. Oh, it's great to be me. Oh, behave. Hello. Okay. All right, I'll be good. I'll be good. I hope you enjoyed it. Put voice in the comment section so we can work together. All right, we're going to have a lot of fun up in here. We need voices of hope now more than ever because this is a brand new day. Oh, it's your time. It's your time. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.